Hello, my name is Chloe, welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you the 20 questions book tag. I cannot seem to get the glare off my glasses, so I'm really sorry about that. But I am in the midst of studying right now, so wanted to just take a step back, do a simple video, and Victoria tagged me in this a little while ago now, so sorry Victoria for just getting around to it, but I'm finally here, I'm doing it. In not like me fashion, actually, I've not done any research into who the creator is or anything like that. Sorry about that. So everything will be linked down in the description for you. Hopefully all is clear in the description. I was tagged by Victoria and the lovely creator's name is on the screen right now. And yeah, let's just get cracking into the questions. So question number one is, how many books are too many in a series? And I would normally say 4 is too many. That's because I really do enjoy a trilogy, but I get daunted by series that have more books. But saying that, one of my favourite series of all times is Glass Houses. It's not Glass Houses book number 1, the Morgan for Vampires series, which is 15 books long, including an extra book and an extra short story. So this is like an absolute question, but I'm gonna say it's best to just have 3. But sometimes when a series really grabs you, you can get away with 15. The next question is, how do you feel about cliffhangers? And I enjoy a cliffhanger, but not on the last page of the book. I hit it from a weird economics accounting brain where I do not like a cliffhanger in the last page, because that is basically forcing you to buy the next book to get answers for the time you've invested in this first book, if that makes sense. I'm not saying a cliffhanger is always bad. If the main storyline has been solved and then there is a cliffhanger for the next book, fine. But you've got to solve that first bit of the story. The story has to have an end, in my opinion. So I do like a cliffhanger. I think they really add cliffhangers throughout books, like at the end of chapters and then we go to a different time or something like that really works. But do not force me to read book 2 to get answers for book 1, because I will not be impressed. Next up, it's hardcover or paperback, and I 100% say hardcover. I really have been enjoying the feel of a hardback book while I'm reading it. I like how they look on my shelves. Then my favourite area on my shelves is all my nice lined up hardbacks that are all the same height. Paperbacks can look really good. Can look really good in cutesy illustrated books, but I just love the chunk and like physicality of a hardback. I don't know if that makes any sense, but for presentation and for reading, I prefer a hardback. Favourite book? That is a very, very absolute question, and I have a lot of potential answers, but the one I'm going to go for today is Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. I would not be the reader I am without Twilight. This book means so much to me, and this series means so much to me. It's what got me hooked into reading. I remember devouring the Twilight books and just loving them with my whole heart. I understand that there are some problematic elements with the Twilight series, but at this point it is so like ingrained in me as a reader that I love these books. This is my gorgeous first printing of the hardbacks. Maybe not first printing as in this batch, but like first edition is what I mean, isn't it? First edition? I think that's what I mean. That were lovingly gifted to me by Rachel, technically her boyfriend, but Rachel. We'll thank Rachel for putting me in touch with Mark for these books. I have the whole series in this gorgeous hardback, and they will definitely be staying with me forever. I love them so much. Least favourite book, I can definitely pick out. My least favourite book of all time is Taming the Beast by Emily Maguire, and I don't even want to give it more time, so it's off the screen now because I'm not interested. This is a book with a teacher-student relationship, which is normally something I can kind of get behind in a book. The whole taboo, I don't know, I've got a messed up personality where I can kind of enjoy it in a book. But this one was so centered on abuse, where I don't even know how to explain it, but you know when you read a romance where the people shouldn't be together, but you know, both characters or maybe even one of the characters thinks it's the right thing to be doing, so you kind of get caught up in it. I don't know. This book was literally just like pure physical abuse, and it was horrific. It was horrific. I couldn't stand it. It was actually the first book I ever read on BookTube for Contemporary-a-thon round, I don't even know what round. It would have been 2018. Wild. Love triangles, yes or no? I am gonna say, on the whole, yes. I'm normally only not a fan when it doesn't go my way, and my favourite of the love triangle doesn't win, but I guess most books are written in a way so that you fall for the one that we're supposed to like more. I don't know. Overall, I do like a love triangle. They can be done badly, but when they're done well, they are one of my favourite tropes, like, of course. Question number 7 is the most recent book that you just couldn't finish, and for me that is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. My printer decided to join in the conversation there. I'm sorry. But yes, Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. I tried to listen to the audiobook of this one, and all I know, I listened to about a third, and the only thing I could pick out was that there were teenagers and everything was told in a very, it was like porn but with teenagers in it, and I was very, very confused. The only parts I remember about this are some very, very graphic sexual descriptions, which for me isn't a like massive turn off on a book because I read quite a lot of smut, but it was just done in a really cringy way, and the audiobook like made my back hurt, like I was just icky. I don't know, couldn't sit through it. A book you are currently reading is somewhere in my stack is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. This is my book club read and we're actually starting it today, so I have not read past the first page yet. That is my next job for after filming and editing this video. Then I'll be moving on to this book, so very excited. The other book that I have on the go right now is After the Game by Abby Glines, which is book 3 in the Field Party series, the first book being Until Friday Night. I am really enjoying this series. They are very feel-good YA romances with some dark, heavy subjects in there as well. So that's my audiobook, and I'll Be Gone in the Dark is my physical book. Last book you recommended to someone, I'm gonna go with It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So I really wanted my lovely friend Chelsea to read some Colleen Hoover, so when I say recommended, I forced these books in her life because I sent her It Ends With Us and Verity for her to read. I was, you know, just gonna push that on her, so I guess you could say I recommended it, but I forced it. The oldest book you've read on publication dates, I had to do some Googling. It is Pride and Prejudice, which is my favourite classic. I have not read many classics, but Pride and Prejudice always makes me smile. Saying that, I don't know whether I'm just picturing the movie the whole time. I would love to do a reread of it at some point. Maybe not this year because I'm just overwhelmed with so much like technical reading that classics scare me, but I would love to read Pride and Prejudice again soon, and I have one of those gorgeous cloth bound copies. It's at the bottom of a pile, so I did leave it over there, but yeah, I have a gorgeous copy of this book and would love to read it again soon. And then following on from that, the newest book you've read by publication date. I did some checking and it was We Were Kings by Court Stevens, which the publication date was the 1st of February 2022. I'm currently filming this on the 16th of May, so I don't read many oh my god right now releases, but I have had a few arcs from publishers in the last couple of months. So yeah, We Were Kings only came out a couple months ago. This one I did enjoy. I think I ended up giving it 3 stars though, because there were just a few niggling issues I had with it, but yeah, I've been really loving receiving more physical arcs lately. It makes me feel so accomplished. I don't know how to explain it, but yes, have read that one. Next question, number 12, is favourite author, and I have gone for the lovely Jen Bennett, with my favourite book being Starry Eyes. I absolutely love Jen Bennett's books. I was probably only introduced to her, god, when would it have been? In the summer of 2019, maybe? Yeah, I read this one for the first time in May 2019, and I'm pretty sure it was the first one I read. I'm sure it was. Yeah, it came out 2018, wow. This one is my tabbed and annotated copy, which I've done with 4 of her books. So Alex Approximately, Starry Eyes, Serious Moonlight, and The Anatomical Shape of a Heart, or Night Owls as it is called in other countries. Wait, no, it's Night Owls in the UK. Anyway, I really enjoy Jen Bennett's books. They are just so cute and uplifting and make me happy, and that is my favourite thing about a book. I read for enjoyment, and that's definitely what I get out of Jen's books. So yeah, I have 2 to read, Chasing Lucky and Lady Rogue, so I'm hoping to get around to those soon just because I love this woman so much. I've also interacted with her on Twitter a few times, and she just seems like a lovely person. So Jen Bennett is 100% my favourite author. Next up we have buying books or borrowing books, and I have to say buying books. I did do a video where I went to my local library, which I will link down in the description for you if you are interested, and I actually went back there today to take some of those books back because I hadn't read them and I'd had them out a seriously long time. I think my issue is I do like getting books out of the library, but for me, I have such a large book collection that I need to get through them, and I get such endorphins out of buying books that I just continue to do it. Also, I took this question as buying books, as borrowing books from friends, and I don't have, makes it sound like I need a tiny violin, but I don't have any friends in real life, like living around me, that read, so there's not any opportunity for me to borrow books from somebody. So if I want a book physically and I want to be able to, you know, make it my own, I guess. No, maybe that's my other point then, is I like to read books and make them my own. So for example, another book I have on the go is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare, which I'm reading and annotating, and I'm highlighting it, writing in it. I can't do that if I've borrowed the book, whether that be from a library or from a friend. So I do love to have my own copies of books. Next up, a book that you dislike that everyone else seems to love is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Let me slightly correct myself. I don't outright hate this book, but I do not understand the hype at all. I love a bit of romance. I am loving, for example, Colleen Hoover. Verity not so much being straight romance, but we have It Ends With Us, we have Ugly Love. I'm trying to think of more romances I've read lately. The Kiss Quotient, The Bride Test. I read a fair amount of romance, but The Love Hypothesis just didn't do anything for me. I got none of those warm, nice feelings that everyone else seems to have about it. So we're gonna move on. Next up, Bookmarks or Dog Ears, and Bookmarks, please do not dog ear books. Actually, I take that back. Do whatever you want with your own books, but if I ever lend you a book, please do not dog ear them. I absolutely hate it. I hate how it looks, and it always just feels very unsafe. Like, you're easily gonna lose that page. Maybe I've just been reading books with very weak paper that, I don't know. The amount of times as a teenager I lost the corner of pages, like it would just tear out. No. Bookmarks, 100%. Next up, question number 16 is a book you can always reread, and I've gone for The Kissing Booth by Beth Reckles. This book is such a happy, cozy comfort read for me. Whenever I'm down, I enjoy rereading it. The last time I reread it, I believe, was April last year, and I would have just been getting ready for exams and just needed some chill time. And I remember taking the relief in The Kissing Booth and just having a calm chill. If you don't know, this is about Al and her best friend Lee, and Al has a bit of a crush on her best friend's brother Noah, and I just love it. Going the Distance is probably my favourite out of the series. I have not yet read book 3, and I've only read Going the Distance once, and that is because it's a story of 2 characters in a long distance relationship and the struggles they are having with accepting you know, what the other person's doing, and trust and communication, and that one really hits home for me. So I struggle to read it, especially in times where I'm not sure if the next time I'm going to see Cole or how long it's going to be. Really right now would be the best time to read it because I only have a month left to go, but because of exams I'm not really reading too much. But The Kissing Booth and its overall series is a definite book that I can just continue to reread. We have been talking for a long time, so let's carry on with the questions. Number 17 is, can you read while hearing music? Yes, I can, but I prefer instrumental music. What I can actually do is link some of my favourite playlists down in the description, but when I read, if I just need some backing music, I do not like to read in silence. I get bored very easily. I like to listen to the entire soundtrack of the Vampire Diaries series. the Twilight movie soundtrack, or sometimes the American Horror Story season soundtrack. So I can link all of those in the description if you want to go check them out. I don't really like ambient sounds like coffee shops and rain and stuff. They're always rainy, and rain makes me want to go to the toilet. So yeah, I like to listen to shows including vampires soundtracks, by the sounds of it. Number 18 is one point of view or multiple points of view, and 100% one point of view. I was recently reading a book, I don't want to spoil it, but I was recently reading a book, and in the last 3 chapters we got a new point of view, and that was the whole like twist of the story, was that there was someone else, and I genuinely really dislike it. I find it much harder to connect with a character individually if we're then going to switch to hearing somebody else's internal monologue and thoughts and what they did. I just want to be with that one character all the way through. There are probably some exceptions, like the Morganville series starts doing multiple POVs, and I was kind of okay with that because we had multiple books to build up feelings about the other characters, so when we started hearing their story I wasn't as bothered. The audiobook I'm currently listening to, After the Game by Abby Glines, is 2 POVs, so we have the like main character and the love interest, which I kind of find okay because you're bouncing off each other, you're kind of involved in both situations. But if we get more than 2 points of view, I get very, very confused, can't connect, and just end up not knowing what's going on with the story. Last up actual question is, do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? I've definitely changed on this. It used to be that I would love to sit and read a book in one sitting. I'm pretty sure I did for The Kissing Booth last time I read it. My aim is always to read a book in one sitting. I kind of did it with Ugly Love last month, or this month. Months are blurring, where I read 75% of the book sat on the train coming back from a work trip. So I do definitely try and read in one sitting. That's always the goal when I pick up a book, is I'm not going to move until I'm done. But I am finding it much more, not even easy, but necessary where I am in my life right now, that I have to break things up. I sometimes can't sacrifice that whole evening to reading a book. So I would love to say 1, it's definitely preferred, but it just hasn't happened in a while. And the 20th question of the 20 question book tag is, who do you tag? I have a few people. First up, Chelsea from Relaxation. She was very keen to get on this. We have Heather from Heather's Hectic Hideaway, Danny from Danny's Book World, and the next 2 people liked my tweet, but I don't know if they wanted to be tagged. We're going to do it anyway. We have Paige from Pages with Paige. Paige, I know you did this in October 2020, but times have changed. You might have different answers. Do it again if you want. And then the lovely Becca from The Becca Fowl, who I do not believe has done this. But anyway, those are all the questions. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments if you do this video. I would love to see what you say. But on that note, I am going to cut this video because I've been talking for so long. So thank you very, very much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.